inside the Palace. Let's look at the starting lineups for the Orlando Magic with the best record in the East. Matt Harpring, the rookie from Georgia Tech, opening up front with the veteran Horace Grant and Big Ike Austin. In the backcourt, Penny Hardaway and Nick Anderson for Chuck Daly. Check the Pistons starters now. Joe D back hale and hearty, played in game number 1,000 and played oh so well on Thursday, along with Lindsey Hunter, who's played nothing but great basketball lately. In the backcourt, Don Reed, Grant Hill, and Bison Dele, who's sure enough on an uptick up front for Alvin Gentry. Let's go into spotlight now for AutoZone, and we look at the starting centers in the ball game. Ike Austin and Bison Dele. And this is a more finesse matchup than you think, despite the girth of Austin. Let's take a look at the U.S. Postal Service Piston priorities for priority mail. And without further ado, let's bring back my partner Kelly Tripucka for that.
Girth, huh? I like it. Number one, Penny, for your thoughts. I think you need to contain and double down on Penny. He's been playing pretty well as of late over the last week when he was criticized, and still a tough matchup because of size. Sixth man or Superman? Well, that would have to be Darryl Armstrong, because this guy is playing phenomenal. You must be physical with him. Got to try to throw him off his game. Do something different with him. Try to give him another look that he hasn't seen. And lastly, on a roll, well, just ride it out. I think that's how the Pistons are playing right now. They just need to continue to do what they're doing. Get a little bit tougher on the boards against the Magic and try to contain those guys that have given them problems in the past.
Let's check the officials in the ball game. Rashawn Michelle, Bob Delaney, and Leroy Richardson assigned here by David Stern and the National Basketball Association. There's the Hall of Fame coach, Chuck Daly. Went in 94 into the Hall of Fame and still going strong. Alvin Gentry, who has the hottest team in the game right now, in the first chair for the Pistons. Bob Delaney will make the throw as we look down from our Kmart Big K Sky Cam at the Pistons dressed in the classic red, white, and blue.
Now, one guy that is absolutely thrilled to see them.
They look like the Detroit Pistons to me. Here
my
comes
partner,
Lindsey Hunter.
You should have yours on.
Armstrong starting with Hardaway for Orlando. Grant spins baseline, hang glide, guns it down.
Quick move, had Harpring leaning the other way, and Grant, quick as a cattle on the baseline, gets the first two of the ball game. I'm just sorry to say, if you went back to the classic uniform, you might have that old suit on with the big collar. Leisure suit, I guess you would call it.
Pistons still playing that good D.
You would have a few of those.
Speaking of suits, there is Chuck Daly. No, never had a leisure suit, I'm proud to say. Always a little too trendy.
Quick
Here
double.
is Joe D. Nice little up fake. Fires, fills it up. Great rotation, a sweet rainbow J for Joe. It's 4-zip Pistons.
Well, you can see early on the Magic are going to try to double Grant as much as possible before he puts it on the ground and causes havoc. But Pistons, as we've been saying, the extra pass has been great.
Penny Hardaway, the recipient for Orlando, got it from Armstrong and gunned it down. Lindsey blows by Armstrong, and Grant dishes to Bison Dele for the dunk. Same old story for the Pistons.
A roadmap, George, right from end to end. The Magic a little lazy getting back, almost surprised. And Lindsey just said, why not?
Armstrong against him. And look at Lindsey pick his pocket. They got 3-on-1 numbers to Don Reed, and Armstrong stood in there. What courage. He took the charge and broke up the break.
George, that was a fantastic play. Not so much even the courage, but how about the smarts to anticipate that and read that play, as Lindsey knew he had a couple of trailers, but Armstrong said, I think he's going to give it up. He stood his ground, and Don Reed nailed him. And that's why he's playing as well as he is. He's just made all the right decisions. Hands down, this guy's going to be the sixth man of the year.
Well, he can play for anybody in this league. Chuck Daly's glad he's got him.
Career year.
Harpering with a show and go on Bison, runs up the hook scoop, no, taps it up, yes.
Now, this guy's not a rookie anymore. They've really gotten productivity from their rookies. You're going to see another one come off the bench, and Michael Doliak, who's played just as well for Chuck Daly.
Joe D feeds Bison, gets it back, clocks it 10 against Hardaway. Gives it to Grant against Harpering. On the deck, spinning, runs up the floater, no. Ball's still alive, but Harpering comes away with it.
Got some numbers, 3-on-2.
Armstrong with the long gun. It goes, a triple for Armstrong.
That's the kind of year that Darrell Armstrong, sometimes known as Flash, has had. Incredible.
Lindsay works against him. Orlando takes the lead 7-6.
And they might not be as tired. They played last night, but they blew out the Bulls by 50 points or so.
47, worst defeat in Chicago history. What a shame. Daly misses.
So not many minutes.
With a rebound.
They were more rested than they anticipated they would be.
Horace Grant, maybe a little out of range.
I'm just going to say, you read my mind.
Step or two back.
Another step in that was right in his spot.
Joe D fakes the pass. Triple try a little short. Don Reed nearly picked Grant's pocket. Penny Hardaway spinning on Lindsay.
Try to get Hardaway in the post against the smaller Hunter. Quick double.
Armstrong goes back to Penny from the corner for three. Around and off. Harpering caps it, but Grant's got it.
Now, Harpering had good position, just couldn't corral it.
Running out Don Reed down the lane. Up and down.
Now the Gentry up, wanted a blocking foul to make it a three, but no whistle.
8-7 Pistons. 8 now and 10 to play here in the first. Pistons and the Orlando Magic on Bad Boy reunion night. Full house at the Palace. Harpering with a drive. Little up fake, but he walks.
Harpering looking a little surprised that they called that, but Pistons didn't pull any surprises here, as running the lane was Don Reed. You see Armstrong trying to step in. Really a good no call. And Reed gets his first two of the game.
Pistons 8 and the Magic 7. Chuck Daly's team is 23-10. How about the Pistons? They're 20-12 after winning 6 straight. Bison Daly inside for the slam. How about that?
Nice job by Bison to get himself under control that time. Took a little stutter step, but once he came to a stop underneath, used the right hand to flush it. And Bison, as we know, a left-hander.
Yep. Austin powers his way in there.
Mike Austin's a tough handle down low. Good footwork and got all the moves and put the ball on the floor, will take you outside and drive it by you. He's been a Piston killer.
He has some stuff. It is now 10-9 Pistons. Grant with Harpering up to body him and fouling him, says Leroy Richardson. The first on Matt Harpering.
Really call that foul a lot. Harpering didn't do a whole lot, but put those hands up for just a second, get called for the touch.
Alvin Gentry wants a timeout here with a 10-9 lead and 7-12 to play in the first at the Palace on the Pistons Television Network. Stay tuned during our game tonight. We will announce a winner in the 1999 Budweiser Pistons Dream Sweepstakes. You could be a member of the Pistons Bad Boys team for a day. Paid 1/82nd of the 88-89 season minimum NBA per game. The wage is $1,219.51. Also included dinner at the Palace, a locker room tour, 4 tickets to a game on May the 2nd. Details wherever Bud is served or sold. Out of the timeout, Pistons get Bison Daly. The drive and deuce.
Yeah,
Joe D set him up.
Good high post action that time. Daly faked the screen. He slipped it right to the basket. A good bounce pass. The only way it would have gotten there. Got himself an easy lay-in.
12-9. Pistons with the lead. Austin deep for the Magic. Don Reed with a block for a foul.
Let's get a look at that last play. You see the 2 guards out top and Bison Daly in the middle. Now as he sets the screen right here, he's going to come over and fake this screen. Instead, he's going to slip it right to the basket. Joe, a good pass inside for the easy bucket. Excellent.
Don Reed's foul, his second. And he sits down now. Loy Vaught checks in.
Boy, out here early, I saw him working on his jump shot.
Christian Laettner gone for a couple of weeks with a rib injury 2 nights ago against Chicago.
Need some bodies, and Loy Vaught's a guy that's been around, so
he can play.
Get to see some action.
Here's Bison Dele running up the hook. Harpering with a rebound. Pistons lead them 12-10. We have 6 now and 12 to play in the first. Armstrong against Lindsay.
Trying to get some low post action with Penny in the post.
Mike Austin by himself. Off the iron to Harpering. The Georgia Tech rookie works against Loy Vaught. Drives him. Loy got a piece of that, I believe. Here comes Grant. Joe D on top against Penny Hardaway. Bison Dele in the post. Grant cuts baseline, step back, and sticks it.
That's a tough shot. Defense was pretty good as they cut off the baseline as Grant cut off the screener. Got nothing, and as you said, that little step back. But that's a tough angle because he's actually behind the
very
backboard.
Difficult. 14-10. Can you shoot a few back there, though? Here is Horace Grant off the heel.
Used to be one of my favorite spots back there in that corner.
Armstrong flicks it away to Austin, gets it back. Bison Dele pushes him out on the floor, and he does make the right call.
You know, he was
set it up.
He was thinking about trying to make a move, but Dele did a nice job of backing off him and cutting off angles to the basket.
Harpering from the corner, they dare him. He does. No, off it comes to Bison. 14-10 Pistons, just under 5 to play here in the first. Grant whips it to Joe D. Gets Penny Hardaway on his back. Ball batted away, though. 2-on-2 break. Penny Hardaway lays it in.
Magic do a great job of converting from defense to offense, and they run the break very well. The smart pass that time didn't waste anything on the ground to Penny, who lays it up and in.
Joe was grabbed on the arm when they swiped the ball. He let Bob Delaney know it. Loy Vaught foul line. Takes the pass. Misfires to Armstrong. Screen from Grant. Armstrong with a rainbow gun. He got it.
See him use the high post for just a second. It wasn't a long screen. Kind of just ran right off his tail that time, and that was enough room to free him up for that short little mid-range jump shot.
And he ties the score at 14 with 4 minutes flat to play in the first. Bison Dele with a bounce to Grant. Mid-post against Harper. He gets by him. Finger rolls. Fills it up.
Just too quick. Whenever they try to double team, he's just too quick. He even beats it. They got to close the gap there. He just split the defense that time between Austin and Harper.
6, 2 boards, 2 feeds, all ready for Grant. Pistons lead him 16-14 with Judd Bushler about to check in. Penny Hardaway against Joe, deep to Austin, lost it out of bounds with Loy Vaught on his back. And there is Judd Bushler. Judd was watching those films of the championship Pistons and said, boy, you guys were good. He ought to know. He played on some championship teams. Eric Montross in the ball game now. Or about to check in. Bushler is on for Joe. Dele with the backdoor cutting Grant Hill. Count it, and a heartbreak foul.
We saw that work a couple of games ago on the lob from Lindsey Hunter. That time, Grant once again reads the situation. Set play. He feels pressure from trying to front the post, and he just spins off it real quick. Watch the top of your left side of your screen. You see the quick move inside, clear out the backside, and Grant, he knows how to finish.
Comes an old friend of yours into the ball game, Dominique Wilkin. One of those 80s gunslingers at small forward, and there were so many of you.
Every night.
Alvin Gentry has 9 in Grant Hill's column and a 19-14 lead. Harpering sat down with the 2 fouls and 4 rebounds and 2 points. Dominique backs down on Grant. Great little up fake. Missed the glasser, though.
They did.
Bushler digs it out there. Terrific move. Here's Lindsay in the lane, lost it. Penny Hardaway had it kicked out, and Orlando will keep it. But first we'll get a timeout with 2:50 to play in the first. Pistons 19, Orlando 14 at the Palace on the Pistons television network. There are a couple of bad boys, Bill Lambier and Isaiah Thomas, and Trader Jack McCloskey enjoying the night. And forget, was a brand new music video on the '89 champs. You'll see it at the half. Pistons up 5, 2.5 to play in the first. Clock almost out for the Magic. Penny Hardaway misses. Eric Montross kept it alive for Grant. Pistons wearing those classic championship uniforms tonight, if you just joined us, because it's a bad boy reunion celebration night. Loy Vaught working against Horace Grant. Lindsay against Armstrong. Clock's inside 10 for Grant inside. Draws the double. Vaught deep for the dunk to Montross.
That's great. Great ball.
Perfect passing. Heck of a job by Loy. The ball was barely in his hands before he had a feed.
All about anticipation. They know the double team's coming. You get a cutter in the lane. They'll touch pass. Montross flush.
And Doliak, Michael Doliak, the other rookie, this guy out of Utah, gets the foul.
Keep it off the floor, and there's nothing prettier to watch than a team that's unselfish and moving the basketball.
There's a young man who's won some championships, B.J. Armstrong from Brother Rice High, home of Joe Abramson, and the University of Iowa, where there are rumors he might be the new coach. I think the NBA still pays more. Maybe not by a lot these days. Eric Montross misses, and B.J. Armstrong will work against Lindsay. Now it's Penny Hardaway to Armstrong with the basket cut and the foul. Eric Montross got him.
First in the last 2 minutes.
And Khalid Reeves checks in for Lindsay. Christian Laettner come on so strong. You hate to see him have to sit down for a while, but he's tough. He'll get back as soon as he can.
That's a tough injury too, because that just hurts everything you do. Anything with your ribs, you know, breathing or sneezing or twisting, turning, it's very uncomfortable to live with, even sleeping.
B.J. Armstrong guns them both down. It's 21-16 Pistons. We have a minute now and 42 to play in the first. Khalid Reeves against Armstrong. Grant gets a Vaught screen. And now Loy's got Penny Hardaway on him in the post. Nice little fake. Runs up the hook. And as they scramble for the rebound,
Armstrong
get a B.J. Armstrong shove.
Trying to box out Montross, a little shove in the back.
First in the last 2 minutes.
First in the last 2 minutes, though.
Almost got away with it. And he really wouldn't have minded to see Eric on the line as much as he struggles from there.
Here's Grant. Letting it go off the heel to B.J. Armstrong. Horace Grant.
Surprised he didn't pull the trigger. That was his shot.
Maybe about a half step out that time after he missed that first one. He wanted to get closer.
Yep. Tried to go in the post to Dominique and knocked away by Judd Bushler, fronting.
8 on the shot clock. A minute and 2 to play in the first. 21-16 Pistons against the Eastern Conference leading Orlando Magic. Horace Grant shot from the wing. Bounds out of bounds. A minute left in the first. Pistons leading Chuck Daly and the Magic 21-16.
25 high.
Grant lost it.
Behind you,
Doliak
behind you.
to B.J. Armstrong. Hardaway from 3. Airmailed it wide left.
He heard footsteps. And I think that took his concentration off, and as soon as he let it go, you know, he wasn't even in the ballpark.
So did the fans. 7 for 17 for Orlando. Pistons 10 for 17. Boy Vaughn shovels it, right corner. Reeves misses. Armstrong the other way. Dominique.
They're going to hold it for one now. I think they were looking for the quick basket if they could get it.
Penny Hardaway way behind the long line. Off the iron to Horace Grant. Draws the foul with 7.1 seconds to play in the first.
George, that was a mistake. That's an ill-advised shot. If you got the basketball in the last possession, it was only about a second-and-a-half differential in the shot clock and game clock. And to fire up a three-pointer with 8-9 seconds to go is not good, because if they don't get the rebound, Detroit gets an opportunity to score it.
And they'll get a scorer back in the game. Joe D for Eric Montross. First one kicks away for Horace Grant. Daryl Armstrong's back for Michael Doliak. Chess match between Alvin Gentry and Chuck Daly here in the closing seconds of the first.
Both teams going small. Some quickness. Pistons will have plenty of time to get the ball off the floor.
Horace Grant splits the pair barely.
I'm sure you're going to see some pressure here of some kind. They're going to have to take the ball out of his hands, though.
Grant whips it to Reeves. Joe with an up fake, got time. It's on the way. It's down at the horn. How good was that? On Bad Boys Reunion night, the MVP of the '89 NBA Finals finishes off the first with a clean J. Pistons 23 and the Magic 17 after 1 on the Pistons television network. Quick stats show the Pistons continue to make the perfect pass. They are 100%, 11 assists on 11 field goals in the first. A couple of them slightly complimentary.
More than complimentary.
Here comes
Phantom-like.
the junkyard dog, Jerome Williams, in the ball game. Penny Hardaway misfires. Judd Bushler boards. I'll tell you one thing, if Morris Moravnik gave him an assist, he truly felt there was one there, because Isaiah Thomas had to really earn every assist when he was playing here. We know that.
All point guards complain about those.
Bison Daly turns baseline on Doliak for the dunk. Bison with 8. Pistons lead him 25-17. A little backcourt pressure on. Lindsey and Jerome. Joe D, Judd Bushler, and Bison Daly against Doliak, B.J. Armstrong, Penny Hardaway, Derek Strong, who's just checked in, and Dominique. Strong way out on the wing to B.J. Quick feed to Dominique. Backs down. Now the turn and gun off the high glass goes over Judd Bushler. Looked like the good old days.
Well, he doesn't get up as high, but
correct.
The moves may be a little bit slower, but effective nonetheless.
Pistons lead by 6. Bison Daly working out against Doliak. Hooks over him, no. Rebound snatched off by Penny Hardaway. Ahead to Armstrong. Dominique fighting for a spot inside with Bushler. Jerome Williams comes to 2-time. Dominique with the fallback gun. The junkyard dog with the rebound.
A little forced, I think.
Not the first nor the last. But what a scorer. I'll let you said that since you are one. Pistons throw that away, trying to go baseline. So let's go back and take a look at Bison Daly's dunk.
You're going to watch Bison, a quick move. He beat the rookie right there, baseline. Another flush for the Piston big men.
Pistons lead him 25-19. We've played down to 10 minutes here in the first half. Doliak, the rookie, inside. Nice move on Bison Daly.
Very fundamentally sound.
25-21, and it's Bad Boys Reunion night. We got the captain, number 11, with us here courtside. Great to see you again.
It's good to see you, George, and it's good to be back with my roomie. But
welcome.
it's okay, T.
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Where's your jacket? I want one of those jackets.
You definitely deserve one, because you were one of the foundation builders.
I had a lot of help. It's a long time ago. Doesn't it seem like it?
That seems like 5 minutes ago to me. Joe D misfires there. Pistons.
That's because you get better
steal. Lindsay with a pull-up gun. It goes.
Good decision that time by Lindsay. Coming down, they back off him defensively, just pulls up at that foul line. It's something you learn in grade school. Stop at that foul line. If nothing's there, take the shot.
And we'll get a timeout here with 9:04 to play in the half. Stay with us. We've got Isaiah with us and the Pistons and Orlando Magic on Bad Boys Reunion Night at the Palace. 27-21 Pistons, just over 9 to play in the half on the Pistons Television Network. Hey, for all our friends at Anheuser-Busch, let's check Budweiser's What's on Tap. An old friend, Dick Carter, another old friend, Larry Bird, come in with the Indiana Pacers on Monday at 8. Atlanta plays the Palace Wednesday at 7:30. And you can come out early and rally the Pistons to victory against Indiana and Wednesday against Atlanta. Call now for tickets at 248-377-0100. As you notice, Charlotte comes in later in the month. Darrell Armstrong short with it to Joe.
We've got numbers that they could push a little bit. We don't see a lot of fast breaking. Joe takes control.
Jerome Williams screens for Lindsay. Dele deep to Jerome Williams against Derek Strong. Found himself some room. You like to see a guy work out like that inside, don't you think?
I love the interior passing that Dele displays. It's a very good passer around the post area. Very good passing in between the defense. And Jerome is a great finisher.
Jerome is as active as I've seen anybody in the league. He's a nightmare for teams. It's like they don't read the scouting report. He continually gets offensive rebounds.
Doliak counters for Orlando. It's 29-23. Lindsey Hunter, drafted by the same team his idol played for. Then he got to play with him, Isaiah Thomas. And he's getting better and better all the time. Joe D, two-time, ball out of bounds with 11 on the shot clock.
I tell you, I love the Pistons in these uniforms. I'm sorry.
You don't have to tell him.
You know, the new breed is cool, but I'm definitely old school.
I love these uniforms. Talk about clean.
I bet you if they took the uniforms off after the game and auctioned them off, they'd make a lot of money.
And they are.
I see a guy up there wearing an old warm-up suit up in the stands as well, so he must have done something.
Derek Strong inside and too big for Lindsay.
George, I noticed Derek Strong in warm-ups was wearing a face guard from a broken nose. Obviously didn't enjoy the mask and decided to play without it.
There he is. We have 7.5 to play in the half. Team with the best record in the East, Orlando's here, and the Pistons have a 6-point lead and force the turnover.
Great hustle by Lindsay to pick off that pass and save it before it went out of bounds.
Number 1, Lindsay, working it right here in front of number 11, Isaiah Thomas, with Kelly Tripucka and me here at the Palace. Pushler from downtown, and he buries it.
Simple Piston execution. Once again, the extra pass is what makes the play. Ball never touches the ground. 4 or 5 passes get you to a shooter. Judd Bushler drains it.
Timeout, Orlando. We'll have more with Isaiah and the Pistons and the Magic. Here at the Palace in a moment, the Pistons have a 31-23 lead. 6:59 till halftime on the Pistons Television Network. Then the Heat, the Knicks, the Spurs, and moving on up, the Pistons at 86.3 per game.
Well, that's the trend, and this is the Piston involvement we talked about before. The extra pass to the shooter, Bushler. The long bomb goes, and Pistons continue that trend, George. Getting assists, and it makes the offense so much easier and flows so much better when you get guys that are unselfish.
Shot clock's down to 5 for the Magic. Doliak with the miss, but you hear the whistle. And the Pistons get whistled for a foul.
Isaiah, I wanted to know what you thought of the job that Chuck's doing with this team. Obviously a very, very good draft. I think these two young kids, Doliak and Harpering, have done an outstanding job.
Yeah, what they came out of the draft with in Harpering and Doliak, great pieces for their team. Doliak at the center position complements Austin very well. And Chuck has done a very good job in terms of blending these guys into the offense, in terms of getting them ready to play. And when you look at what he's done with Anderson and Hardaway, Hardaway's having a bad year, but yet they're still leading the league. And you know that he's going to play better. So once the playoffs start, you get a new slate, you feel better about yourself. So hopefully, you know, when it's playoff time, these guys will come around and continue to perform well for Chuck.
Yeah, I also think Armstrong has a lot to do with it. He's had an incredible year. There's no doubt he's going to be the sixth man of the year.
Yeah, Chuck runs a, you know, it's a guard's offense. You know,
like what you guys did. I asked her about that early in the season. I said there's a lot of similarities there.
And if you don't have guards, you know, you can't win in this league, I believe. And Chuck has 3 very good guards that creates mismatches for other teams, and Armstrong, Hardaway, and Anderson.
Bison-Dele with that little facing hook. Answers the one on the other end with a deuce for the Pistons, and now the lead is 9.
Bison can be an offensive threat. He really adds something to this team.
Doliak went baseline, and before the shot, a Bob Delaney whistle and a Judd Bushler foul.
That's the second of the team's fourth for Orlando.
To get a look, speaking of Bison-Dele, good one-on-one move. You get Dele some early looks, seems to raise his confidence and keeps him in the game for the full 48. That's really an added plus for this team.
Look at the Pistons shooting percentage, 63 versus 38 for Orlando. Another miss for the Magic, but here is Armstrong sticking it on the stick back.
Armstrong can do no wrong this year. He's had an incredible year. He's really fun to watch. Plays any style you want. Get in there and get rebounds. He'll make steals. He'll hit the open jump shot. He's won an awful lot of ball games for him.
Well, you got to be happy for a guy like that, too. Here's Joe D from downtown. The triple is off to Doliak. You know, Armstrong in the USBL, the CBA, the Spanish League, played in Cyprus.
And we always cheer for guys like that. The hard road.
He's here to stay, however. Doliak missed badly that time.
Yeah, I think Doliak had the shot before he put it on the ground. I would have taken that one.
Look who came up with a basketball, Darrell Armstrong. 5 and 10 to play in the half, 33-26 Pistons. Derek Strong goes back to Armstrong with the clock at 10. He stepped out. Joe was up in his face with some rock-solid defense.
Isaiah, what do you see in the league this year? A lot of teams in a strange schedule, the strange season. Boy, nobody's really taken control. Everybody's really blocked in there. You look at the East, there's 10 teams. Everybody has a chance to make the playoffs, and from top to bottom, it's only a couple of games.
Yeah, it's a rhythm league right now, and if you can get your rhythm in this short season, you can run off a lot of games and separate yourselves from the pack, because teams don't have a lot of times to practice. They don't have a lot of times to prepare. So if you fall into a groove and you get yourself hot, such as the Pistons are right now, and you can keep that momentum going, you can end up winning the division and, you know, more or less, you know, without an 82-game season, you don't have to extend the marathon. You know, it's just a quick sprint right now.
We've seen that.
Chuck Daly shouting instructions. Bison-Dele got a quick basket for the Pistons on the other end. He has a dozen. The lead is 35-26. Lindsey's back for Judd Bushler.
Daddy Rich still working the referees along the sideline, not happy about the score or what's going on.
Ike Austin, who's just returned, takes out Jerome Williams, finds Darrell Armstrong, who misfires to Lindsey. In transition, Lindsey goes to Joe, who hooks it deep to Grant. Batted out off the Pistons. Grant, Jerome Williams, Lindsey, Joe, and Bison-Dele on the floor now against Harpering, Darrell Armstrong, Derek Strong, Ike Austin, and Penny Hardaway.
Pretty good job by the Magic on transition D that time, getting back in the paint and closing out on the shooters as Joe Dumars nearly had a look.
Penny Hardaway showing you Orlando's not going anywhere.
Well, he's got to step up a little bit, because without Nick Anderson, he hasn't had a great year, as Isaiah has said. He needs to raise another level with Anderson out for a couple of games at least.
With that strained left hamstring. Bison-Dele in the post off the high glass. Jerome taps it, gets it back, Penny Hardaway takes it away.
There's that man again. He is just relentless on the offensive glass.
3.5 to play in the half. Mike Austin was 3-timed. Hardaway whips it to Derek Strong. Knocked it down.
A little surprising. I thought that was a little out of his range, but Derek Strong, we seem to have some pretty good ball games against the Pistons, but does most of his damage inside.
You know, Kelly, when you talk about Penny Hardaway, I think the Magic have a dilemma on their hands because he really hasn't defined what his role is, what his position is. Doesn't know if he's a point guard or a shooting guard or a small forward. And I think he needs to define his identity in this league.
I couldn't agree with you more. How about that try for a jam by Armstrong, even though he missed it?
Well, he's done something wrong for once, George.
Bill misses on the long gun.
A mistaken. That's the kind you want to dig a hole and cover yourself up 6 feet under.
He gave it up, got it back, missed the tray, but Ike Austin boards for the Magic.
Yeah, Isaiah, I think you're right in that, and people have questioned his leadership quality as well. I think he's a little confused as a player.
I think he lost what he was trying to be. When he came into the league, he made the All-Star team as a point guard.
To a quick start.
Posted people up, really played well underneath, and then he wanted to move to the shooting guard, and then he played a little small forward. So over the years, he's really lost his role and really lost his identity in the league in terms of who he is and what type of player he is.
We got a little problem on that call, and Darrell Armstrong and Bison Dele with the collision. Bison with the foul, and with 2.5 to play in the half, we'll go to timeout here. 35-30 Pistons on the Pistons Television Network.
Now let's get a look at what happened. A little tussle before we went away. Watch Grant Hill. He'll get hit on a pretty hard screen. Probably took exception to it.
And then Bison Dele called for the foul on Armstrong on the baseline.
Well, that referee, he put that whistle in the mouth.
Rashad Michelle looked like he wanted to tee him.
He thought about it.
It's Bad Boys night. Why not? They got those classic World Championship uniforms on.
There's nothing wrong with a little hot sauce and vinegar in the blood.
Thank you. Darrell Armstrong, by the way, was upset. He thought he was fouled on the missed jam. And so nobody thought the whistles were doing him any favors. Well, Penny Hardaway's at the line.
If you missed a jam like that, wouldn't you think you got fouled, whether there was somebody 10 feet or 30 feet away from you?
Well, I know if I miss a jam like that, you got to come out of the game. I mean, the game has changed, and the tolerance point has changed so much that the coaches allow a lot of things to happen nowadays that they never allowed back in our day. You never would shoot. Yeah, you never would shoot a three-point shot on a fast break. You got a 2-on-1, 3-on-2 fast break. Guys are pulling up for threes. They're going in, missing dunks. I mean, it just never would have happened back then, and people accept that today.
Well, Lynn Reeves just took the baseline. It was wide open, and he hit the glass here, 37-31. We have 2 minutes to play in the half. Penny Hardaway runs up the finger roll, count it, and a foul.
That's a great play by Penny Hardaway. Good decision. Don't settle for the jump shot. They've struggled offensively. Nice little show and go as the defense tries to close out, and he just takes it right back in the teeth, lays it up, gets contact in the foul, and it'll send Penny to the line to try to complete the three.
And he does. And don't look now, but it's only a 3-point Piston lead. Despite shooting 60, close to 60% in the early going. Grant doubled, split the trap, and got the whistle.
He's a difficult guy to double team. If you don't get side by side, lock those arms and legs together, he consistently splits the double team with his quickness.
Jerome Williams against Strong with 1.5 minutes to play in the half. Jerome kicks it out to Eric Montross, but the shove's called.
Joe upset about, talking to Bob Delaney, upset about Harpring getting a little too high with the elbows underneath, and watch for Joe to get the next call next time he touches the basketball.
Derek Strong whistled for that one.
You ought to know.
Jerome's
right?
at the line.
Well, you have to know when to complain and when not to complain. And, you know, if Joe's smart, the next time he touches the basketball, he'll make a move on Harpring and try to draw the foul.
Go right to the basket, he'll get the call.
You just played in your 1,000th game, and a rookie throws that forearm up high. You may as well say something about it.
Yeah, but Harpring's a very tough kid. You know,
yeah.
I watched him at Georgia Tech. I was scouting him a lot because I was thinking about drafting he and also the kid Doliak. And these are two very tough kids, mentally and physically.
I thought so. Very smart players. That's why I think Doliak's done a great job. We saw him have a game on Sunday a couple of weeks ago where he had 27, 28 points. Very good from the outside, knows how to set screens, really doesn't try to do anything he can't do. And Chuck told us earlier in the year about Harpring. He says he just doesn't even know who he's playing against. He says he's not a kid that's into everything. He says he has trouble recognizing who his teammates are. So we thought that was very funny.
He's a bulldog.
He said, I just let him play, and he'll come around eventually. It'll take him a couple of years.
Carol Armstrong, and it's off the heel. And we got a whistle with a minute to play in the half. And speaking of great jobs, I think that the great job that you did in Toronto is starting to pay off plenty up there. And they have really turned a corner. Congratulations.
Thanks, George. Only thing I can say is, can you imagine that team with Stoudemire and Walt Williams still on it?
Exactly.
Because they made the trade to Portland, and I think that's what put Portland over the top.
Sure.
And when you put Stoudemire and Walt Williams back on that team, we were poised. We were trying to make the trade for Camby, for Kemp. They ended up making it for Camby, for Oakley, and that set their team apart. We needed that veteran leadership. We needed that toughness.
I was going to say, that's what's really put them over the top. They got a few veterans to mix with that young talent. They won again tonight. They beat the Wizards earlier this afternoon. So, I mean, they're a hot team, and now the young kid, Vince Carter, who's probably taken the lead as far as Rookie of the Year. Boy, has he been a player. He's really taken over and given them kind of a go-to guy offensively.
You know, if they stick to the plan that we laid out up there, they're going to be a tough team in the future because, you know, sky's the limit for them right now because they're poised perfectly to have great success.
Well, they double-team Grant, and on the floor, they're going to call a kick here. Yeah, Harpring tried to get away with a little soccer move there, trying to bring the ball to his body with his feet, but gotta love the hustle. Guys on the floor.
Let's take a look.
My favorite part of the game, a good double team. Grant loses it, and you're gonna watch Harpring. You can't get it with your hands, get it with your feet. I like it. Isaiah, a lot of people felt that, and still feel probably, that basketball can't survive in Canada. I mean, obviously right now, the way the Raptors are playing, people might think otherwise. Well, what's your take on this? Can basketball be a consistent factor in Canada?
But we led the league 1 year in attendance up there, and the people will come. The only problem is with the Canadian dollar and the U.S. dollar, you end up conducting yourself similar to the Montreal Expos or the Florida Marlins or the Pittsburgh Pirates, where you build up the talent and then you're not able to keep the talent.
Exactly. I was going to say, as far as free agency is concerned, how many guys want to go up to Toronto?
Yeah. I don't think they would have a problem attracting free agents in terms of people wanting to come there. It's just a matter of can they afford to pay them, because you have to pay in U.S. dollars, but you're only collecting Canadian dollars. So you may only be able to afford maybe 1 or 2 superstars at the most. But when you're talking about having the type of talent that we had there, in terms of 4 or 5 guys becoming budding superstars, you may not be able to keep them. So you end up becoming a farm system to some of the better teams in the league.
Well, that's an interesting point. I know my partner, he doesn't like getting paid a monopoly money as he usually does either. He likes that real stuff, that green.
I mean, again, you go back to the Portland trade that I think that put Portland over the top, where you have to get rid of Stoudemire and you have to get rid of Williams because you need that salary room.
Yeah.
So will they be able to keep Carter? Will they be able to keep McGrady when those guys come up?
Well, time will tell. It's just a matter of whether these guys really want to win first or they want the money first.
All right, Horace Grant makes it a 39-37 game. We get a 20-second timeout. It's Bad Boys reunion tonight, and let's check out a Bad Boys memory as you see the Pistons wearing those World Championship uniforms. Michigan National Bank presents Bad Boys Memories. down 3 with just seconds left on the clock in Game 3 of the 1989 Finals. The Lakers still had one last chance to tie the game. But LA's three-peat hopes were dealt a severe blow when Joe Dumars sealed the win with the most memorable defensive play in Pistons history. There's that Bad Boys banner. And there's Joe D. Looking right in red, white, and blue. With 22.8 seconds to play here in the half. It's great to have Isaiah with us. Great to have all the guys here this evening. I'm happy for you. You get to have a reunion and enjoy yourself.
Thanks, George.
Don't go home too early now. Enjoy it.
It's only one thing about those uniforms. They need to pull the shorts up a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree.
Get those socks higher, too.
They need to get back to the hot pants.
There you go. Jerome Williams. He's got the idea, at least half of it anyhow.
At least with the socks.
Yeah, but you can't wear the high whites with the long shorts.
Looks
You got to
like
wear
pants.
high whites with some short shorts.
There you go. Hey, Zeke, it's been great seeing you. I've missed seeing you around. You're doing a great job.
Terrific job with the network. And I love having a guy of your stature in the studio. Out of the 20, Grant showing some stature, takes the baseline. He has 11.
Magic have plenty of time.
Darrell Armstrong stumbles down the lane, and there's the reason, says Mr. Richardson.
Richardson's got a nice little dance step going there.
Let's look back at Grant's last hoop before we check out whether this should have been a foul or not.
Well, Pistons always very good. Alvin Gentry does a nice job of designing plays out of the timeout. And this was the last call. Didn't see much contact. But that was very fortunate if you're the Orlando Magic.
So Chuck had a chance to work the officials down there. He screamed about Armstrong not getting fouled before. And that's the wisdom of the bench paying off again.
A little bug in the air always helps.
No question. And Armstrong made good on the whistle. And that's a two-point game again, just before halftime. Reeves, that counts if it goes. It doesn't. We got a great ball game going here. The Pistons with a 41-39 halftime lead on the Eastern Conference leading Orlando Magic as Alvin Gentry's team tries to make it 7 wins in a row. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you, George.
Great seeing you.
Zeke, thanks a lot.
Thanks, KT.
This is the Pistons Television Network. Welcome back to the Palace. George Blaha along with Kelly Tripucka.
Get out of the way,
and
Mike.
Pistons trainer Mike Abdenauer. Pistons with a 41-39 halftime lead. Bison Dele, who's been playing up a storm during the winning streak, went at it again in the first half.
Well, they've gone to him, George. That's the big thing. They've got his confidence up early. He's gotten in good position. A couple of screen and rolls, able to get to the basket and uses the quickness for dunks. Good Piston ball movement and has got him in a position to shoot the basketball very good.
Again, they're passing the ball beautifully. They have 15 assists to 8 for Orlando, but the Magic stayed in the ball game at the foul line, 12 for 17 versus 3 out of 4.
And the big stat right there for the Pistons, 28 to 14 points in the paint. They've done a nice job because of the ball movement.
And guess who's here with us courtside? What a great tie.
Look at this.
Hey, how about this, huh?
How can we get one of those?
Hey, 10 years ago I bought this thing.
Knew it'd come in handy sooner or later.
Bill Lambier here for the Bad Boy reunion. Let's check the leading scorers in the first half. Bison Dele with a dozen, Grant with 11. Walk Hardaway with double digits. He's the only one for the Magic. And Orlando's off-season acquisition in the middle, Big Ike Austin, turns it over.
Well, Dele's had the better of that matchup where Austin in the past has been the dominator. They need to get him involved offensively a little bit more, does the Orlando Magic.
Billy, great to have you joining us, and you have fun so far tonight.
Yeah, it's been great seeing all the old guys, and we've been discussing our present team right now.
Bison Dele inside with a hook, and illegal defense called first. Suddenly, they're the hottest team in the league, and could be an interesting playoff team. What do you think?
Well, they play very hard, so they're going to win a lot of games during the course of the season. When they get in the playoffs, it's a whole other battle, so that'll be their biggest test.
Well, everybody's pretty much stacked together, but I think you hit it right on the head. They play hard, and we've seen the last 3 or 4 games where they just play harder than the other teams. Other teams have fallen by the wayside and almost quit And if you play hard enough in this league now, you get yourself a victory.
Well, that's how it's always been. The referees reward all the people that play hard. And if you go out there and every night or consistently play hard, you're going to win the majority of the games. And just like I said, though, you can make the playoffs, but when it comes down to the playoff time, everybody elevates their game. Can they do such?
Game, right?
This would be a nice test for the Pistons here tonight. They have them on their home court, of course, but still it's Orlando, and this team now knows how to win. Witness their coach and their 23-10 record.
Well, you know, they played very well. It was a great tribute to Truck Daly this year. They could have folded, and they came out and played very hard. And they're on top of the league right now.
Bison gets another 2.
Lindsay set him up. Lindsay's improved, hasn't he, Bill?
Yeah, he plays good defense. Everybody's complimented him on his defense. He plays strong and hit the open shot.
He probably has the toughest matchup night in and night out from that point guard position. But you're right, it starts with him putting pressure on the basketball early on, and he's been relentless in that category.
I think that's his role.
Armstrong has tied the ball game at 43. Lindsay works against him. Gets it back from Bison Dele and buries it. Open shot, down.
Just the guy we were talking about.
It doesn't help.
On
doesn't
cue
hurt to keep
for
doing
Mr.
that.
Lampier. Here comes Armstrong against him. Lob inside. Nice pass, but Penny Hardaway did not finish it.
Yeah, he had a tough time throwing a little behind him. Almost still got it to go, but that was a tough catch.
Don Reed no looks to Bison Dele. The high glasser is good. He has 16, but another sweet Piston feed.
Another open jump shot, too, and he's been the man offensively for the Pistons this evening.
I think that's a shot that Bison Dele, if he ever mastered, would be a tremendous asset to the Pistons.
And we see him use the glass an awful lot, right in that 8 to 10 foot range, and he's very good at it.
He has 16 now, and Don Reed has just picked up his 3rd foul.
And we're going to get another look at it. Good pass inside. Reed to Dele off the glass, and sometimes a lost art using that backboard.
Ike Austin. The Pistons have now 47-44 lead for Alvin Gentry.
Lammy, we've seen a different kind of center play in the last few years. A lot of guys start playing a lot like you did. Guys able to step out and, not so-called prototype center. Guys that can shoot and put the ball on the floor. What do you think of that?
Well, there aren't many around. And every year the traps become more and more prolific. So you're going to have to be able to hit the 10, 12, 14-foot jump shot if you're a big man. And those that don't will be very limited in how their effectiveness is.
Look at this tie, folks. He bought it 10 years back and looks just as good today.
And look at the uniforms they're wearing. They should continue those uniforms.
We already had a discussion with Zeke a little while ago.
Don't get me started.
And him, I listened to that constantly.
Hey, what is a horse?
We wanted him to put on a uniform one night.
Joe D from downtown, around and off, and the rebound comes off to Penny Hardaway.
It's going to be a collector's item. I don't know where these uniforms are going after the game, but
let's lock them in the locker room. Make sure they use them again.
Well, as Isaiah said, they look clean. They're sharp.
Horace Grant, former Piston opponent when he was with the Bulls, and in the days when Chicago could not get by the Pistons. Among the greatest teams of all time, certainly. Probably should have won 3, could have won 4, but hey, winning back-to-back was an awesome accomplishment, Bill.
Yeah, we had a good little run there, and I think the people of Detroit have really appreciated how hard we played, how much we accomplished, and actually we were just fun to watch.
But I think people came to understand how hard you worked and how much everybody sacrificed, too.
And we also, and nowadays, when we were playing, we showed that we scored 95, 90, 89 points, and everybody said how it was so bad for basketball. Every game now, they struggle to score 90 points because the defense has become so what we used to do. We show defense wins. But I'll tell you what, the time is right now for someone like Grant Hill to jump up and make it showtime and score 110 points a game and play solid defense and be the LA Lakers and win the Eastern Conference for the next 5 years.
Yeah, we were talking with Isaiah about he felt the same way. There's not a lot of fast breaking. Nobody really fast breaks. You don't see guys run the lanes and cross underneath. And and you see guys pull up and shoot threes on the fast break. Those are things we never heard of back a while ago.
Well, you don't see many players like Grant Hill who can probably be a Magic Johnson, who can come zooming down the court and dish off and hit the open J's or create the easy baskets. That's one thing. If you get easy baskets in the NBA today, you're going to win 75% of the games.
Well, they made one of our cameramen move.
Hey, you know, I have front row seats, and the cameraman gets in the way all the time.
Best seat in the house, except I don't know why how he doesn't trip the referee more often, because those guys fly up and down the court, and they're literally 6 inches from the edge of the court there. I'm surprised more guys don't go tripping.
Oh, they're very, very careful, and should be.
Oh, I'm sure sometimes you'd like to trip them.
Hardaway, Penny against Jones, bounce to Armstrong. Horace Grant right where he wants to be, and that's going to be down 9 times out of 10. That's just his shot.
One step in for Horace. We saw him pass up a couple trying to get a little closer in that first half, but he's deadly from that elbow area.
He doesn't have Bill Laimbeer range, let's put it that way.
No, but he knows it.
Yeah. First lead since it was 7-6 for the Magic. And here's Penny Hardaway off the steal.
Timeout.
Darrell Armstrong again.
Timeout.
Alvin Gentry has the same thoughts that you do, Mr. Laimbeer. The Pistons will take a timeout. We'll get some final words from Bill Laimbeer in just a moment. 7:20 to play in the third. Orlando 51, the Pistons 48 on Bad Boys Reunion Night at the Palace on the Pistons television. Hey, Budweiser's what's on tap at the Palace tonight. You bet your life on that. Also Monday, Indiana's here at 8. Atlanta 7:30 Wednesday. On the 12th, the Charlotte Hornets come in. And we're playing our Budweiser Dream Sweepstakes, and we do have a winner. Dan Geiger, call us at 248-371-2091 before the end of the game to claim your prize.
Is that Matt Geiger's brother?
Might be. See that Bad Boys banner up there? Bill Laimbeer has joined us here courtside in the third quarter. And before we let Billy go, I got a question for him. Is there any basketball in your future?
Well, right now I am really enjoying myself coaching 11 under girls basketball, AAU basketball, and it's pretty fun. I'm enjoying it.
I bet you the salaries aren't as high either.
Yeah, but sometimes the attitudes can be just the same.
Not surprising. And hit the back of the backboard.
I know your daughter's a pretty good player.
She enjoys it.
Tall.
She's tall, but more importantly, I think she has a basketball awareness about her.
She's got some fundamentals to her game.
More than that, she has more court sense. She knows exactly what's going on at all times, and you can't teach that.
Yep, I was going to say, it's something you can't teach, and that's always a unique ability to have.
She'll always be a winner.
What do you think of those jackets you guys put on?
Oh, those were cool.
Sharp, huh?
Yeah, those were outstanding.
That's a very nice touch by the Pistons. That was a surprise, I think, to everybody.
And, you know, and also for me, what I think is the most important thing for all the old players, the uniforms they're wearing tonight was a great touch. And you have to compliment the Pistons for coming out here and doing that for us.
Yeah, that was nice. Lindsey Hunter.
I think the people in the stands enjoy it just as much, too.
Yeah, when they came out and noticed there was some electricity. Orlando shooting about 80%, as you saw a moment ago, here in the third, and they have the lead. This is a big ball game for both teams.
8, 7.
Only 2.5 games separate these two teams. Harpering on the drive, and he has drawn the foul. Well, I hope you stay close to the game, Bill. Love to see you in it at some time. You were so good for it around here, and smart basketball people would do so much for the NBA, so don't put it too far in the back of your mind.
Well, I'll always be around. I enjoy watching the game. I enjoy analyzing the game and what's going on. And I stay close to the players because I can give them a couple words of advice, and it's fun.
All right, great seeing you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Enjoy yourself.
That's right.
Don't go home too early tonight.
I won't.
Want you to enjoy this.
As long as VJ's still here, he'll be here.
I'll be here. Good night, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Bill.
Lambeau, Bill Laimbeer, joining us courtside at the Palace, and we've got an argument out here in front of us.
We need
Leroy Richardson and Joe Dumars are chest to chest and face to face, a la the Bad Boys. as Harpering's at the line. Somebody did something, threw something on the floor or whatever, and Harpering, who had missed the first free throw, gets
an
2
extra
more.
shot. Right.
Well, he didn't manage to convert. In the next 2, he gets 1 of those.
This will be on Ike Austin, I think.
And Ike Austin's going to get the foul from Bob Delaney here.
Man, scramble. Things have gotten a little heated, I guess you could say, as Alvin's going to get that suit all sweated up.
Well, this is, as I said, this is a big game.
Well, nothing that a new piece of gum won't cure.
We're heading down the stretch of the season, and this shortened season. Pistons are within 2.5 of the Magic. Starting to breathe down their necks. Joe D from downtown, just short to Hardaway. Orlando with a 2-point lead, 5:22 to play in the third.
Pistons having trouble on the offensive glass. Really one and done the last few times down.
Austin looks it outside to Armstrong. Step up, leaner. Yes.
Got the roll. Short armed it just a little bit, but had enough rotation to spin it over the top of the rim and get the kind roll.
He has 13 and 6 assists.
Well, the Magic have kind of taken the tempo to their favor.
Lindsay thought about it from the wing. Nice deep bounce to Jerome for the hook. No, and it's out of bounds.
Boy, it's too bad because he had great position right underneath the basket. Really sealed his man off. I think he may have got a little quick with the shot. Sometimes Jerome is overactive.
Well, he gives you so much of that sometimes it is hard to just shift to a different gear. Bison Dele sits down. Eric Montross has checked in.
Well, that's almost a part of your game you need to work on. When you say that, it's not a negative, but it's an area where you've got to learn to corral and know when to turn it up and tone it down a little bit.
Darrell Armstrong just tripled. Don't look now, but it's 57-50. The Pistons need a make here. Lindsey Hunter out of the ball game. Joe D running things. Grant with a drive. Runs up the floater. Jerome hustles it down.
There's a point where he turned it up.
Yep. Lost it in the lane, though. Penny Hardaway out in front, and Joe D knocks him off the layup.
That's going to be 2, George.
Yeah, that's a clear pass foul. And Penny Hardaway will shoot a pair. 4:11 to play in the third. Orlando with a 57-50 lead.
Great hustle by Jerome as he puts it on the floor. Knocked away by Austin when the reach in right there. And Hardaway blows by Joe, but you see, he knew he was beaten, took the foul. Pretty good decision.
Penny at the line, and we want to wish a great lady who has watched the Pistons for years, 87 years young, Billy Van Teen from St. Clair Shores, a happy Easter. Wow. And thank her for being such a great, great fan. She has a wonderful family, and I know they're Piston fans too. This is a 16-3 run, so all the fans are starting to hope the Pistons can convert in the offensive end and get a few stops.
You can tell the Magic's defensive intensity is up a notch, and that's converting onto the offensive end.
The clock's at 2. Grant throws it up. Got a little iron.
And here they are off and running again. They really have the tempo in their favor offensively and defensively.
9-point lead in the ball for Orlando. Austin got too cute. Pistons on the break, and Jerome walked. Oh, that's the call.
Really a difficult pass by Austin in traffic, and Pistons came away with it, but the last minute someone stepped in front of Jerome Williams, and
Bob, it's a shame you're working by yourself tonight.
Referee said he took that extra half a step before he put it on the floor, and that's where you get the traveling violation.
Harpering from behind a foul line.
Boy, does that look nice. Set play, a down screen, a half a curl off of it, got himself a foul line jump shot in one motion. Looks real good.
And the Pistons are going to take a timeout here. They need one. 3:12 to play in the third. Orlando's up 11, 61-50. This is the Pistons Television Network. Check clear path to the hoop numbers. Mr. Scourge charting Bison Delays makes 8 of them against 5 misses, and man,
well, if you
he hit some good shots.
And if he were a bowler, you'd be able to get a strike and knock those pins down. He's done a great job underneath.
There's the first lady of those back-to-back world champions there on the left of your screen. The lovely Terry Daly sitting next to Dr. Ben Palucci's wife, Jean. And there's Chuck. They're back for the Bad Boys reunion. Montross with a hook that's short. And Bushler missed on the tap. Chuck, of course, here with the Orlando Magic. He's coached them to a 23-10 record so far. Harpering against Joe, working on the baseline, and Joe will be called by Leroy Richardson for the hand check. A moment ago, when Matt Harpering got the extra free throw, Leroy Richardson told us during timeout, the paper airplane thrown right at the shooter is called disconcertion, and you've got to give the guy an extra free throw there. Alvin Gentry's thought was, hey, what happens if somebody is an Orlando fan and does it?
He says, I didn't throw it.
But chances are it is a home fan doing that. Horace Grant makes, and the Pistons need to be careful. They're down 13.
And that was right in his spot again, George. Once again, he is just deadly from that foul line area.
Ricky Mahorn's going to come on the radio. No, on the TV with us.
Yeah. Maybe he should be on the radio. I don't think he has a face for television.
Grant Hill misfires to Horace Grant. And we have 2 to play in the third. Chuck Daly and the Magic with a 63-50 lead over the Pistons. Armstrong doubled. Hardaway gives it back to Horace Grant right where he wants it. He had to miss sooner or later. Bushler with a board. Ricky, great to have you here.
Hey, great to be here, George.
Hello.
Hey, honey, how are you? Nothing much, Kelly.
Grant Hill took it all the way inside, hit the floor pretty hard. This counts, and Grant felt this fall, trust me.
He stepped in underneath in the last minute, and he was inside the dotted line anyhow. Watch Grant make the one-on-one move right to the basket. Austin waiting for him, but too far underneath, and he lands hard on that hip.
Ricky, how about all those great videos and all those looks back and getting together with your teammates? Gives you goosebumps, at least it did me.
Yes, it did. It gave me a lot of fun. I didn't watch those videos once I got unprotected, but right now I'm just having a ball, just looking at them and getting the excitement from 10 years ago, how much fun it was to be a Piston in here and really winning the championship.
You know, I didn't miss it, and I don't think you did either. There was an absolute roar in here when you were introduced. That's got to make an athlete feel good.
It always feels good because the fans really appreciate a winner, and, you know, just listening to you, George, they appreciate just listening to your voice.
Well, man, it was a great time before the ball game, and you guys deserved every accolade, and the fans packed this place for the Bad Boys reunion.
Hardaway hit a jump shot, but we want to know, since we've asked the other 2 guys, what do you think of the uniforms?
Oh, boy, I like those uniforms. Those are great.
That seems to be consensus, and we don't have to ask my partner over here because he wants to put one on.
I like...
Here's a little Joe D on Harpering. Gave him a little Rick Mahorn nudge and got the call.
Well, it looked real good. A great acting job by Harpering, but Joe's getting those free throws right now.
Taking advantage of the rookie that time.
Grant, by the way, made the free throw after he came down hard, fouled by Ike Austin. He has come out. Arnie Kander will go to work on him. You know, he just came down on his backside.
Kind of hard.
The floor can hurt.
Amongst the people falling on top of you.
Orlando with a 65-53 lead, a minute and 18 to play in the third. And Joe D is at the line. Pistons, who started so strong, have lost the lead in Orlando. A veteran team in the key components anyway, coached by Chuck Daly, and they're going to be hard to come back on.
Rick, this is a different team. It's Orlando Magic team. When you look at them, their statistics don't really pop out at you. They don't do anything real great, but they play well as a team. Chuck's done a great job with this team. That's why they're leading the Eastern Conference.
Well, it reminds us a lot of what we used to do. I mean, Chuck just implemented a system that, well, you got a guy who can shoot outside. You got 3 guard. You have a 3-guard rotation.
Yep.
Nick Anderson's healthy. So he's probably implemented the strong defensive attitude, and Horace Grant, from being a champion with the Chicago Bulls, it really makes it a lot more fun.
When we talk about these two rookies they got, done an outstanding job for them.
It sounds like a Dennis Rodman, John Sally type tandem there.
Chuck Daly will take a timeout with 1:11 to play in the third. We got Rick Mahorn with us. Stay with us. Orlando's lead is 10 on the Pistons television network.
Yo. Okay. Yep. Hey, how's your nephew doing?
Doing well. He had 47 out there at the community. He went to a
yeah, I know. You were telling me. I think.
School. Had 47s, got offers from Northeastern.
Really?
And let's see, Northeastern, St. Francis.
Good for him.
Of good schools.
Good. I hope it works out for him. Now, Horace Grant has been the man the second half for the Orlando Magic, but he's pretty much done this all game long. It's a guy that's a proven winner, and you give him this shot around the foul line area, anything within that elbow area, he's going to make you pay. He's so consistent, great rotation. The feet are set, and he's been a Piston killer from pretty much X on the floor.
He has 8 in the third. Orlando by 10. Corleone Young is on the floor for the Pistons. For Bushler, Penny Hardaway triples. It rattled, folks, but it went.
Well, they've got it going as Dominique in the ball game, double and triple team. The extra pass, they swing it from strong side to weak side and get Penny open for a long three.
Lindsay with a great fake on Armstrong. Capped by Corleone Young, won't go, but Don Reed digs it out. Pistons got a fresh 24, trailing now by 13. Jerome Williams screening for Joe. Young against Dominique. There's something old and something new.
I don't blame Alvin Gentry. Try to get a new body in there, a guy that's active, a kid that's young with fresh legs. See what he can do.
Line drive floater. No, Don Reed with a hook stick back, and he hit it. I tell you, that was huge.
Well, they need it, but they're going to have to step up the defense because the Magic have been consistently scoring at their end of the floor. So they're going to have to get a run of some stops here to get back in the ball game.
We're inside 10. Now we're inside 5.
Great steal.
Lindsay with a strip. 2 seconds. 1 to the basket. Count it. Great finish by the Pistons in the third, but Orlando took the lead, and they had it stretched out to 13. It's Bad Boy Reunion night. The Pistons in the classic red, white, and blue. Orlando with a 68-59 lead through 3. We got one of the all-time favorite Pistons, Bad Boy Rick Mahorn, with us courtside. More from Ricky in a moment on the Pistons television network. Bison Dele, the Pistons' most consistent scorer tonight, back in the ball game. Lost control on the way up on the hook. Wilkins with a rebound. B.J. Armstrong, Dominique, Penny Hardaway, Horace Grant, and Michael Doliak for Orlando, and Leroy Richardson just put a tech on Alvin Gentry.
Now Alvin's been
He's been hot all night.
Upset. Yeah, we've heard some of the things, and
weren't able to beat them out, but Alvin knows it's a big ball game, and he thinks he's gotten the short end of the stick a few times, but so has Chuck down the other end. He's been working the referees just like he normally does.
Well, it's an art as a coach to work the referees. If you can get them in your pocket, why not? Work them all night.
You just got to know that sometimes you can take them so far without getting the tee, but there's other times you know you're going to get that tee.
Yeah.
Now the smile. What else can you do? You don't want to get another one. In the third, Orlando shot 11 for 14. You like that? 7 for 22 for the Pistons.
Well, they got good shots, too, as well.
Penny Hardaway fires and fills it. They continue to get what they want. The Pistons, during the 6-game win streak, played some great D, and they're going to have to step up and do some more almost immediately here tonight.
Well, sometimes D can't shut down a team that's really feeling it, and right now the Magic are in a groove.
You think that was the Dominique Gavot? You think he was taking it to the middle?
Just think the same
ripped the
thing.
basket.
So wait a minute.
He would have beat all 4 guys down the floor that time, a burst of speed.
Yes, he would have. I mean, he's one of those guys Vince Carter wanted to be like.
Pistons get the steal. Don Reed digging it out for Lindsey. 10:45 to go. It's 71-59 Orlando.
Or pass by Hardaway, but good anticipation from Reed.
Don screens. Joe D. Goes to Corleone Young.
How about that matchup? I think Corleone was about 3 or 4 years old when Dominique broke into this league.
Joe missed the long gun. Don Reed trying to hustle it back, but lost it out of bounds.
Hey, Kelly, I take offense to that. I mean, there's a lot of guys around in the league that I know their moms.
He wasn't born, I think, when you broke in.
Oh, go ahead. He's as old as I've been in the league.
He was just a thought in his mama's eyes, right?
Thought in a lot of people's eyes.
Grant's back in the ball game.
Well, that play looks familiar.
Yeah,
15.
that high pick and roll. Vinny liked that play a little bit. Blocked by Don Reed on BJ in the corner.
Now they've got a good guy setting that pick on the high post. Doliak's a very fundamental player, sits a big screen, and plus he can shoot that shot from 15, 18 feet.
Corleone Young got some time. Now Judd Bushler replaces him. Shot clock is at 7. Doliak's by himself. In and out. Bushler with a rebound for Lindsey.
Well, that was the shot they wanted. Good rotation, didn't get the bounce. Alvin looks like he's just trying to find the right combination.
That's going to be wide by Lindsey. And the Pistons, who have been on fire until the second half tonight, find themselves down 71-59, 9:46 to go. Timeout on the Pistons Television Network.
Pistons basketball is brought to you by Taco Bell and by Ameritech. In a world of technology, people make the difference.
Quick check of the out-of-town scoreboard. Yep, the Nets did beat Miami. That is accurate. Toronto wins over the Wizards.
Toronto's unbelievable.
Minnesota up 10 in the third. And the Clippers trail the Spurs by 10 in the third. Dominique Wilkins from the corner just did kiss the iron, gets it back. Nice fake and a dish to Grant, but he missed it.
Really in between. He should have used the backboard. He had a better angle off the glass.
Well, you should know. You're one of those shooters that I know.
Nobody used those
Corners like you, huh?
Well, Ricky, I know you're working with, as we sing the triples by Orlando 3 and the Pistons none. I know you're working with one of the great coaches in this game, and Larry Brown, and I would expect there's some coaching in your future.
Well, I'm working at that. I mean, Larry Brown is one of the best coaches that I probably played under, other than Chuck Daly. It's just a guy that really knows the game. He's very easygoing. It's a guy that I really respect, and I'm just, I'm excited about being in Philly.
Well, I know he respects you. He got you over there for your leadership and for your basketball knowledge, and it's worked out well for you, hasn't it?
It's worked out really well. I mean, lucky I didn't sell my house down there yet. Otherwise, I'd probably be staying in a hotel.
Give us a little run on the Sixers quickly before you leave. This is a team that's surprised a lot of people.
Well, we're surprising a lot of people, but yeah, we still need to get nurture ourselves, get a little more mature. and stop learning how to lose and know how to win. And that's the biggest thing, the hurdle that we can get over. We gave a game to Orlando, gave a game to Miami. It's like we're giving games instead of us just taking advantage of the opportunities that we have.
And despite the incident with Iverson last night, he's had a phenomenal year.
He's having a great year. I mean, you can't complain. The guy's leading the league in scoring.
Penny Hardaway from the corner triples. Boy, they get another three at about the worst possible time for the Pistons. Rick, how's the family?
Everybody's great. Just waiting on the next arrival.
I understand there's going to be a new one, yeah.
Yeah, waiting on the next arrival. That's going to be exciting, and that's going to happen in July.
You got enough room in that house down the street from me?
Got enough room in the other house. I don't know about this house.
He's gonna be like that fairy tale. There's the old lady that lived in a shoe and she had 100 kids.
I already live in a shoe.
That'll be a big shoe.
Yeah.
They love you around here, Ricky. Don't stay away too long.
I'll try not to.
Good luck, Horn.
Thanks.
Grant Hill on the run out and couldn't finish with a flush. We'll see Ricky at the after party. He deserves it, as do all the world champion bad boys. 8:24 to go in the game, and let's take a look at Grant Hill leading the break here.
Well, he was determined, fire in his eyes, wanted to dunk this, but I think BJ's veteran enough to know that we don't give up dunks, particularly in your face. Put him on the line instead.
Grant at the line on the Armstrong foul. 74-64, Alvin Gentry's team within 10. And here's Spider Sally. You're going to match. You can keep it on. You can be like Smokey Robinson. We'll be like the Miracle.
Yeah, and then you guys can go on welfare and I can be rich.
We haven't practiced yet, but this is going to start costing you. We've already given you 5 minutes out on the floor during the open. This is an extra 10.
Or you can look at it this way. I gave you 5.
That's right. When we appreciate it. I don't know if we paid you for it.
Nah, pay me no attention.
It usually comes out of George's pocket, so wait for him.
Yeah. That's a good shot. No good.
Yeah,
oh, it's good.
Penny Hardaway.
Yeah, Penny's
it's
played a great
nothing
ball.
but the bottom. And he has 26, guys.
George, they're playing like the Pistons the first half. They're really doing a good job moving the basketball side to side, making the extra pass out of the double team.
Ooh, go, no, bad call.
Bison with a little show and go. And I don't know about that call either. Neither does Alvin Gentry, but Bob Delaney was certain.
Well, you better watch out because you might get a technical. He already got one.
That's right. Well, I might yell at Delaney. Delaney, you're a bum. That was a terrible call. And he said, no better. That was a good move, though.
6 for 7 for Penny Hardaway, by the way, in the second half. He has 16 points. B.J. Armstrong and Hardaway in the back. Here's Penny again. Look out below.
Hot man.
Well, he told Chuck he needed to play some more. I guess he wasn't telling the truth. He was telling the truth.
79-65.
He's had a couple of players around the league tell him he's no good anymore.
Oh, really?
That would make you upset, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We shouldn't listen to those players around the league.
Thought he was going inside with it. Derek Strong's there. Armstrong deep to
That's
Hart.
a Georgia Tech guy.
He can finish. Isaiah was telling us how much he liked him coming out. A lot of people did. He's grown up. He can play.
He's a good player.
It's 81-65. Orlando, we get a timeout with 7:07 to go in the game. It's Bad Boys reunion night. John Sally's with us here courtside. We'll have more from Spider in a moment on the Pistons Television Network.
It's that time again, John Sally. Time to make some donuts. The Dunkin' Donuts dunk of the game, courtesy of Eric Montross. He gets the box of donuts. Dunkin' Donuts, nothing says morning like Dunkin' Donuts, and also the official coffee of the Palace. I bet you didn't know that.
That's right. I did know that. You can get burnt.
Think how many donuts
John
Sally would have had if we had that in when he was playing.
If he's nice to us, we'll get him an extra.
I would have been 340 pounds.
Bulk up. You'd have been way more.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Grant gets a big-time jumper there, but it's still 81-67 with 6:40 to go in the game. Austin comes high, screening for Hardaway.
Oh, bad.
No.
Yeah. And Lindsay makes him pay, at least so far, with the swipe.
Wasn't there in too long of a pass. Penny picked up his dribble, and that
Grant wanted to go back door, but Austin tapped it away.
What a steal.
Armstrong loops it ahead to Penny Hardaway. DJ chased by Bison Dele, fires for 2, and it's through.
Now, BJ still knows how to play. There's no doubt about that.
I think it's that Detroit air. Just helping that young boy out from Rice.
Little brother Rice.
He's a homeboy. Class guy. And been a rock solid player. Well, the Pistons will turn it over here with 5:52 to go. Chuck Daly with an 83-67 lead.
4 and
Been
20.
a big night here, and a guy who's always in the middle of the action, coming up big, getting those shots. Took a lot of great
That's
pictures
right.
of John
Best
Sally.
photographer in the world.
Piston photographer Alan Einstein, one of the good guys.
That's his technique, to have it out of focus, make you wonder who it is.
He does great work. And a good guy. Been here for a long time. Been here since before Kelly got here.
Great call, Delaney. About time you made the right call.
Here we go.
Harpring and Joe Dumars is really going at it as Harpring tries to come off a screen by Austin. They call the offensive foul, but there was some flesh there slapping together.
To see what that looks like.
We could listen to that when we heard it from here with the headphones on.
Yeah, he's talking to Joe.
In the trenches.
5.5 to go.
Joe has his head right now.
Well, from what Chuck told us, Harpring doesn't even know who Joe Dumars is.
Here's an up fake, and Grant lost it. Penny Hardaway on the drive. And Lindsay with a foul. He was lost but competing earlier in the year. I'm sure he knows who Joe D is by now.
Just kidding. Chuck gave us the indication that he was a little innocent, I guess you could say. Didn't really know who he was
guys,
playing
with the exception of John.
Yeah, well,
I
think he knows who he is now. That little tap in the back of his head on his lip. Yeah, Joe will wake you up. I'm the guy that doesn't talk, that hits real hard.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with his academic prowess. I know, those things are said about Georgia Tech every once in a while.
No, more book sense.
Hardaway at the line, and Orlando's opened it up. 84-67 with 5:25 to go. And he missed the next. Bushler boards, but the Pistons got a lot of comebacking to do here. Lindsay against B.J. Armstrong. Had an offensive foul, says Bob Delaney.
Jerome Williams.
That was a makeup call.
Alvin Gentry thinks so.
Get a look at Jerome Williams right here. Keep an eye on him as he comes up and sets the screen. Watch the arms. See, he leaned into the screen. Kind of ticky-tack, but as my third partner here, second partner says, but that's the call and it stands.
Yeah, they got this thing about it. He didn't have enough room to move.
Harpring buries it.
Tough kid, good basketball player. I think he's going to get better.
He's strong.
Glared at Bushler.
Now he's strong, he's active, he really competes, and you got to like that.
Joe D inside to Bison.
Did Bison try to pass that inside the paint? Can't do that.
Wow. Look at the shooting. Orlando 72% in the second half to 32% for the Pistons, who shot 56% in the first half.
They've been a mirror image of each other the first half and the second half.
Ike Austin draws the Bison Dele foul, his fourth, with 4:25 to go. Harpring still feels the shot he took from Joe.
You check all your teeth up there while you get a shot like that.
I guess they'll order a mouthpiece tomorrow. That's a hurt.
He was a football player, I believe, in high school, so I'm sure he's been.
Yeah, but he had a helmet on.
Yeah, but he was still a quarterback. They come after underneath that helmet.
Yeah, tough kid, though.
Well, my father played football, and they used to play without face masks. Don't ask me how they did that. That's probably why his nose is like over here.
His nose, the ear, the
it's
same
in New York and New Jersey.
Yeah.
Come on, Khalid.
Khalid Reeves, a New Yorker who played with Spider Sally in Miami.
Yep, I was his vet. Looked out for him.
Jerome Williams misses. Khalid has done what he's been asked to do here with the Pistons.
He looked like he got poked in the eye.
Yeah.
He's looking for a timeout or a substitution, whatever.
He's going to have to just gut it out as B.J. Armstrong took him inside, goes to Harpring, who's open.
Maybe a little too open that time.
Yeah, they're going right at Harpring.
Here's Corleone Young to Khalid. The basket lays it in.
Nothing wrong with that eye.
No.
Play better with one eye. Now, if he went in there and missed it, shot it over the backboard, you take him out of the game.
No question. He can take it, though.
88,
see the ball, Khalid.
69, 3.5 to go. Armstrong driving. Ike Austin's open. Eric Montross had the rebound, and he's fouled by Strong.
That's a hustle foul. You don't mind those very much.
All right, Spider. Thanks for joining us,
man.
Good job, PJ.
Your 10 minutes are up.
As you used to say on Laugh-In before you were born, see you at the party.
Oh, I watched it, though. I saw part of it. I didn't understand all the jokes, but now I do.
Thanks,
Sal.
Thanks, brother.
John Spider Salad, who was a champion here and then again in Chicago.
You know, I feel like Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon here. Who's our next guest?
Going to be John Mellencamp.
Da, 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 da.
Corleone Young on the drive by Bushler lost the dish. And we'll get a timeout. 3:06 left. Orlando 88, the Pistons 69 on the Pistons Television Network. Pistons jumped out early, but it's been all Orlando since the second.
Well, you want it, you got it. Keep an eye on this right here. Joe Dumars and Matt Harpring. As Austin sets the screen, he hits Joe, and then watch Joe's head. Boom, right into Harpring's jaw, and that hurts a lot. In fact, he's still rubbing it.
Well, Joe D had to feel that just a little bit himself. Armstrong tripped. Jerome Williams with the foul. The Pistons, who played so brilliantly throughout a 6-game winning streak, and for part of it played over no Joe Dumars, and then since then they played over no Jerry Stackhouse, and now no Christian Laettner, and you almost have to operate perfectly, which they were, by the way, to keep winning under those circumstances.
Well, they played a good first half and did the things they had to do, and it was almost like Orlando took all their plays and they started doing what the Pistons did to them the first half. Give them credit. But yeah, the Pistons have been shorthanded, but they've have played through it in the past and have done very well. They just don't have the depth that they have with those two guys out.
Strong jumper makes it 90-69. Jump catch by Corleone Young. Take it inside, young fella, and he does. This will be a time for him to step on the accelerator. No pressure. It's 90-71, 2:15 to go.
No, it's really tough. I don't care what age you are to be that inactive and have to come out and try to get your basketball instincts back. He's a young enough kid that he understands, but he's got some talent.
There's the second half hero, Penny Hardaway, as Chuck Daly takes a 20-second timeout. You notice Matt Harpring just set a fairly nasty little screen just a moment ago down the court. A blind screen, so he's going to get a reputation, which is not necessarily a bad one. It's just one hard-nosed player.
You could tell the why he played in college. He was a tough kid, and he's just continuing that on. If you get a look at the Pistons' remaining schedule.
Yep. 17 left, 7 here, 10 on the road. And they got Indiana here Monday, Atlanta here Wednesday, then at Indiana Friday.
You know what, George, when you look at those 6 versus losing team, 3 of those are against the Charlotte Hornets, and they're playing really good basketball.
They're better now than they were.
So that might not be a good indicator. That schedule is pretty tough, but I think everybody's got to play pretty much the same.
Bushler with a great leaping steal. Ahead to Jerome for the jam. Great hustle by Jerome to catch up with a pass, and a heck of a play by Bushler.
Yeah, nice play by Bushler to throw it ahead of him and let an athlete like Jerome just go run after it.
Darrell Armstrong. And they turn it over. Bushler on the run out.
Well, you know what?
Miles Simon, the rookie, fell down.
Chuck's not going to be too happy about that. You want to use the clock, but you just don't want to give up layups in the last 2 minutes. Time after time again. 15-point lead. Going to be tough to overcome with only a minute and a half to go, but you don't want to be sloppy.
Austin against Montross.
That should be an offensive foul.
Darrell Armstrong misses to Bushler. Judd spins away from Harpring. He has 9 rebounds.
We've always seen in the past when that guy tries to knock away the defender's hand when he's watching him, it's usually called an offensive foul. Didn't call it on Austin that time.
Bushler 4-3. Ouch. With a minute left.
Now that might have put
that absolutely had to go down.
That wouldn't have made Chuck too happy.
It's a 15-point lead for the Magic, and they have it 50 seconds to go.
Cover the backcourt, boss.
They're going to use it all here.
Go ahead,
Under 10.
Screen by Strong. Miles Simon, the Arizona rookie, short with it. Montross taps it out. Simon goes to Harpering. Flips to Strong. Off it comes to Jerome.
That's not his shot.
Corleone gets the alley-oop lob back and finishes with a little reverse.
I'll tell you what, how about the catch by Corleone Young that time? One-handed with a guy underneath him, just cradled it, came back down with him, gathered in, and put it back up.
And boy, he's talking to Harper, who suddenly went in the post and called for it. He didn't get it. There's a little mono going on out there right now. Harpering from the top, and it drops.
Well, that's how you pay back.
You can be very quiet and say something.
Just hit the jump shots.
Corleone missed at the horn, and it's 92-77 Orlando.
We talked about the offensive performance of the Magic in the second half, but George, you look up at the number on the scoreboard. That's a pretty good defensive game as they hold the Pistons to 77 points.
Penny Hardaway, who just had a word for Alvin Gentry, put 20 points on the Pistons and Alvin Gentry in the second half. Orlando wins the ball game, 92-77. This is the Pistons Television Network.